My Brilliant Career is a 1901 novel written by Miles Franklin. It is the first of many novels by Stella Maria Sarah Miles Franklin, 1879 to 1954, one of the major Australian writers of her time. Here is a chapter-wise summary and critical analysis of My Brilliant Career by Miles Franklin, including key themes, symbols, and feminist ideas. My Brilliant Career by Miles Franklin. Chapter wise summary. Chapter 1. A Home Among the Gum Trees. The novel opens with Sybylla Melvyn introducing herself and her family. She lives in the rural countryside of New South Wales. Her father's poor financial management and drinking habits make her family life difficult. Sybyllla's intelligence and imagination set her apart from her siblings, and she dreams of a more exciting, independent life. Key point of chapter 1. We see the early signs of her rebellious, ambitious nature and the harshness of Australian bush life. Chapter 2 to chapter 5. Childhood and early impressions. Sybylla describes her schooling, her love for books, and her growing awareness of her family's poverty. Her mother is practical and weary, while her father's failures deepen Sybylla's frustration. She begins to view the bush as both beautiful and suffocating. Key point from chapter 2 to chapter 5. Contrast between the beauty of nature and its emotional isolation. Foreshadowing of Sybylla's conflict between freedom and duty. Chapter 6 to Chapter 9. Social Life and Aspirations. Sybylla visits her wealthy grandmother at Caddagat, where she experiences a more cultured life. She meets her aunt Helen and enjoys comfort, books, and refined conversation. Her grandmother encourages her to act with dignity and self control, but Sybyilla's fierce independence often clashes with expectations of ladylike behavior. Key point from chapter 6 to chapter 9. The Caddagat chapters symbolize the tension between refinement and freedom. Chapter 10 to chapter 13. Encounters with Harold Beecham. Sybylla meets Harold Beecham, a kind and wealthy young grazier. He becomes fond of her and she finds herself torn between affection and fear of losing her independence. Through Harold offers her comfort and security, Sybylla cannot imagine giving up her dreams for marriage. Key point from chapter 10 to chapter 13. Harold represents stability and freedom. Sybyilla's rejection of him highlights her feminist consciousness. Chapter 14 to 17. Decline and hardship. Due to family debts, Sybylla is sent to work as a governess for the Swat family, who live in poor and dirty conditions. She is miserable, overworked, and treated disrespectfully. This period deepens her understanding of class inequality and women's lack of economic freedom. Key point discussed from chapter 14 to 17. The governess experience represents both social realism and feminist critique. Women's labor undervalued and unrecognized. Chapter 18 to 20. Return and realization. Sybylla returns home exhausted and emotionally drained. She receives a marriage proposal from Harold, but she refuses it, convinced that marriage would end her personal and creative freedom. The novel closes with Sybylla reaffirming her commitment to live life on her own terms, however difficult that might be. Key point from chapter 18 to 20. The ending is both triumphant and tragic. Sybylla chooses independence but remains socially isolated. Themes 1. Feminism and female independence. 2. Australian identity and the bush. 3. Social class and economic struggle. 4. Art, ambition and self-expression. 5. Realism and autobiographical elements. Symbols discussed in the novel. The bush symbolizes Freedom and confinement. Nature as both nurturing and punishing. 2. Books and writings symbolize education and imagination as pathways to liberation. Marriage proposals symbolize society's attempt to confine women's potential. Conclusion. My Brilliant Career 1901 is both a coming of age novel and a feminist manifesto. It captures the voice of a woman refusing to conform to patriarchal norms, making it one of the earliest and most powerful expressions of female self determination in Australian literature.